where you get caught and when you move on and things like that. And I've always had I've come to an understanding of the gospel that way, okay? When you are unemployed, you want the gospel to mean you get a job, you know? When you're sick, you want to get well. When you're about to lose somebody, you don't want to lose them, or you want them back. You know, when a relationship is failing, you want it back, you know? Obviously, at the workplace, there's things we would like to be different, or in our country, things we would like to be different, or whatever. But a lot of times, the gospel isn't that you get the job, you do die from the cancer, or your loved one does die, or things don't change, you know. So I think what I'm trying to say about that is, and that can be a little disappointing, because gospel's not magic like that. But what I'm absolutely clear about is that the gospel is the only gospel there is. It may not be the gospel you want at that moment, but it is the only gospel. The only good news is there is no other. So, you know, it's God's gospel, not ours, and we have to finally accept it and submit to it.
Because the gospel is good news.
It is.
What it means, and that
That's
God
right.
will prevail over all
That's
what
right.
you just mentioned.
What God has in store for us cannot be thwarted, okay?
No.
But it's very hard to see sometimes.
Yes, it is.
And
Yes, it is.
and sometimes, I mean, tragically, for a lot of people, they don't see it till the end of their lives. I mean, if you can imagine having grown up in communist Russia, you know, and lived your whole life out under the brutal reign of Stalin and totalitarianism and things like that, and never lived to see your country be free. Or all these young men who died in the war, and women too now, who won't live to see it. Yes?
Just want to remind everybody, which I forgot to do a moment ago, I apologize for that. Wednesday at the 11th hour, that's the 11th day of the 11th month, we're going to have a service of remembrance for our veterans. We'll have it right here, and you'll have the opportunity to come and light a candle for a veteran or someone that you know that has served our country. They don't have to be dead for you to light the candle for them. They can be alive. So please feel free to just join us then.
Show the poppy wreath, Joe.
And I do really want to thank Chuck Pippin.
Yep, Chuck brought that by this morning.
For this wonderful thing. I'm going to take it inside and put it on the altar because we're about to
It was a dress down day for Chuck too. I mean, he didn't have on a bow tie or
Well, I'm glad I didn't see it.
jacket. I mean, you know, he's got a great haberdasher.
Yes, he
Yeah,
does.
he was dressed down this morning. What a great guy he is. Okay, so back to the gospel. The gospel is the good news. And it's the good news because God is who God is. So,
Well, the gospel is not magic, but it is miraculous. So I have some people that have told me, I'm sure you all have in your ministries, well, I became a Christian and things got worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard that many times.
I've lived it. I have. literally.
Testify,
Yeah.
sister, testify.
Not right now. One more of these and I'll...
But
Yeah.
that it goes back to that sure and certain hope that this is going to be handled, even if I can't see that ending. I can't spell that out.
yeah.
And there is that difficulty in turning life over to God. I think we fight against that with all our being because we know a good way,
Yeah.
but God knows a better way.
Well,
Yeah.
also too, in regard to the miracles, I think we're much more likely to see a miracle if we look for miracles in our lives. And there are miracles every day. The miracle of birth, the miracle of just taking your own breath, a deep breath. Everything about this world is a miracle. And the fact that we are spiritual beings and that we are able to have hope for life after this, all of these things are miracles.
I mean, that certainly, you know, science more than anything convinces me there is a God. And then the Bible persuades me, and God is like the Bible, like the Bible says is, you know. That makes perfect sense to me. The best account of reality that I know of. But you know, if it was one or two amazing things about the universe or the human body, you might say, well, this just happened, you know, it's random. But the truth is, every single fact about the universe and everything in it, every single fact is mind-blowingly amazing. I mean, just that we're sitting here talking, I mean, how a child learns how to talk,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, you know, go do it. You know, there's the great story kind of where all the scientists or whatever, they call God and they say, hey, we figured it out, we don't need you anymore, we know how to create things. And God says, oh really, that's interesting, well, show me what you do. And they reached down and grabbed a handful of dirt and he said, get your own dirt. Okay?
Go God.
Get your own dirt. Yeah, get your own dirt, buddy. Okay. But anyway, like I say, that's just the truth of life. And, you know, I think life goes a little bit better for folks when they start lining up with that reality, which is the final reality. We
And
will
it's not-
all
and
come to the end, and there will either be something there or there won't.
And
you
some
know?
of our deep theologians, our deep, thoughtful, faithful people living now, and especially those that have left their memoirs and that kind of thing, are people that suffered greatly
Yes.
their entire
Well, Viktor
life.
Frankl, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, man's
Entire
search for
life.
meaning. I mean, my God, he lost his wife and all that in the
Lost all his
Holocaust.
family, but I think a sister.
Yeah.
Everybody disappeared in the whole.
Well, so we have a new president, and you know, we got a new interim rector. We'll have a new rector. There's change going out all around, and it has the effect that change has on us. We welcome it. We don't welcome it. We worry about it. We fret about it. Whatever. But it ain't the First World War. It ain't Pearl Harbor. It ain't cancer. It ain't a lot of things that could be worse. So it's important to keep some perspective on the change we're experiencing, you know, so that we don't paralyze ourselves by making it more than it actually is, you know. And those things do all work.
Well, there is a
work their way
heft in
out.
the air because you failed to mention the pandemic. So
Yeah.
yeah. we
What
can.
pandemic? It's over. It's
gonna be here
on
next
November
week.
3rd, right? Pandemic's over is what I've heard a lot of people
You know,
say.
I mean,
Soon as the election,
in my
pandemic's
opinion, we have enough. That's you know.
That's true.
Not that I'm
We do.
God, but
Well,
enough.
that's right. You're
Yeah,
right. So,
enough.
so here we are switching places. You know, I can become Mr. Positive here, right? And then Lynn just drags us right back to, wait a minute, we got the pandemic, you're leaving, we got a new president, who knows what else is going on in anybody's life? You know, how can you, don't push us over that so quick, because the bright and sunny side of all this, we still got to get through it, you know? That's,
Sorry about that, crowd.
we're like a seesaw, Lynn.
That's right. We are.
I thought I was going to have to carry the mantra, or people ain't no damn good, but obviously it's going to be.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a true legacy. If I could persuade Lynn Prather that people are no damn good, okay,
Never.
then that would be an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Okay, we would have broke down the walls of denial in unreality and all of that sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
The retreat into blissfulness.
The retreat into the blissfulness of ignorance. Okay. All right. Well, the virus, I mean, that's not getting better. I mean, we are in trouble. Okay, so everybody needs to. I know we harp on it a lot here, but it's not getting better. I mean, we had our first hump, and then the second was higher, and now the third's going to be even higher, and so people do just need to get a little more careful. I know we are a little bit in a bubble and here in our part of the world, but I think you need to be ratcheting up your protocols just a little bit and get yourself through the winter safely before you start getting slack and lax.
Particularly before, like we have
Yeah.
Thanksgiving
Yeah,
coming up.
a lot
and
of
we all
opportunities
wanna
for
be
people
with
to be
family.
together and all that sort of
But
thing.
there are ways that you can be together and protect yourself and
Yeah.
protect the people you love. So
Yeah.
just try to be careful of that.
Great. Well, we have a special guest with us this morning, John McCollum. Come sit on Joe's perch. And help yourself to the champagne bottle. We don't have another glass. Just drink out of the bottle, John.
It's
Okay.
not like clergy.
Yeah, it ain't bourbon, but I mean it is champagne. Okay. So our senior warden is here with us this morning. So we will talk just a little bit, just a moment. So at noon today, John becomes the man. He's the boss. He becomes the canonical authority in our congregation. So all real important decisions will be made by John and by the vestry. And then Joe, of course, becomes his assistant, the priest in charge, and Joe will see to the day-to-day operations of the parish and the liturgical and pastoral work of the parish so that John can get back to his day job too, okay? But anyway, that happens today at noon, so he is a great guy, John. I tell you what, we've had the best vestries at Good Shepherd. We've had a good time. I mean, we'd go to the vestry retreat at Canoga, and when they still had one for a vestry, and it was good. I took them up there every year because one, it was great just to get away. We were really worked under the assumption if we got to know each other better as people, then the work of the parish would be a lot easier when we came back. And vestries can be contentious places where people get at each other and get in camps, and that's never been true here at Good Shepherd. Never been true here at Good Shepherd. And but I took them up there because they could hear people from other vestries say, "Oh God, I can't wait to get off the vestry," and "Oh, you're just coming on. Oh, I feel so sorry for you." And I thought that'd be good. They need to go up there and see how good we've got it here at Good Shepherd. But anyway, what was I saying about that? Oh, we had great vestries, great senior wardens. I've had the best senior wardens, okay? Senior warden serves for 2 years, and all of mine have served for 4 years, you know, each one of them. So I hadn't had a bunch of them, but they have been fabulous, okay? And they've always been people who are different from me. They've all been thinkers where I was a feeler, and they've been much more. And I can't thank them enough for the counsel and all that they've given to me. And then I have to thank all of you, your cards and notes and all of that. I mean, we just love each other, and that's a nice thing, and I really appreciate that. And so, sorry. When I wrote my letter, you know, I came here at a young age and as an assistant, and my friend LaRue and you and all y'all raised me, and that worked out for us. And so I know that we have a special bond and relationship, and I know you feel like I belong to you, and I do. Okay, I belong to my family, and I belong to you, but I do belong to you. So, like I signed off, I am and will always be your Robert. Okay, wherever I am. So, don't call me though. Don't call me. Think well of me. Okay. There you go. All right. Well, here are the keys. Right here, the keys to the kingdom. That's Good Shepherd, and it is a wonderful, wonderful place. God has blessed us and done so much here. And I know God has big things in store for this parish, and He needs you. He needs you on His side in the days and years to come. So I know that good relationship and partnership with God is going to continue here. But it's God who is the one who does wonderful things here, and we can look back on it and say it is marvelous in our eyes, but it's all been God's doing. So, John?
Okay.
Hold down the fort. The fort is yours.
You sure you don't want them back?
Well, I probably would want them back. Okay, give those back.
You can have them.
I meant to go get the thing you reach
Oh, yes.
and hand them to John with the extender. Okay. Okay. Well, that's the end of our show this morning. Okay. We'll be here next week. Life will go on at Good Shepherd. So come join us next week at 9 o'clock. And love you all. Thank you
Love
for all
you
your
all.
help and support. Y'all, I've looked good because all these people here, they've done all the work, and I'm really grateful to them. And I'll say goodbye, Good Shepherd.